From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
President Trump holding a Keep America Great rally in Phoenix tomorrow. Everything you need to know about his visit to the Valley.
Plus, cast members in a local play depicting the story of a dreamer invite Trump to see their show.
And how some undocumented students struggling to pay tuition are fighting for change.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Stephanie Rodriguez.
And I'm Sean Rice. Thank you for joining us. President Trump will be in the Valley tomorrow for his Keep America Great rally.
The event will take place at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix and will start at 7 p.m. Governor Doug Ducey will be meeting the president at Sky Harbor Airport and riding with him in the motorcade to the Coliseum.
Only those with tickets will be admitted into the venue. Tickets are free, but you must register them on President Trump's campaign website using a mobile number. There is a limit of 2 tickets per phone number.
And if you're planning on attending the rally, there will be strict security measures. No weapons, signs, or alcohol will be allowed on the property. The Arizona Department of Public Safety says free speech areas will be set up away from the fairgrounds on 19th Avenue and Monte Vista Road, and on 19th Avenue and Encanto Boulevard.
Taking a look at your parking for the rally. Event parking will open to the public at 6 a.m. and attendees can enter the Coliseum starting at 3 p.m. Parking will be available within the lots of the Arizona State Fairgrounds, as well as the parking lot west of 19th Avenue, south of Encanto Boulevard.
There are only 2 entrances for people attending the rally, one at 19th Avenue and Monte Vista, and the other at Encanto Boulevard, east of 19th Avenue. DPS is asking attendees to plan for long lines and heavy pedestrian traffic.
This deficit has now forced the city to decide what the future of recycling will look like. Cronkite News reporter Isabella Holsizer is outside City Council chambers with the latest.
The Phoenix City Council is working to change the way they manage recycling costs. After several public hearings, the council has voted to move forward with a plan to increase the way that you pay to recycle. The debate has been ongoing.
Breaking news, we have an update now to the City of Phoenix recycling vote. In a vote of 7-2, the Phoenix City Council has approved a 24% increase in monthly recycling charges. That means Phoenix residents will pay roughly $6.40 more to keep the recycling program. The fee will be phased out in the next 2 years.
The sports world continues to mourn the loss of one of the greatest basketball players to ever set foot on a court, Kobe Bryant. Rob Werner has more on the impact the Laker great had on the women's game.
Kobe Bryant was absolutely outspoken in his support of women's basketball and the stage he thought it deserved. Yesterday, members of the women's basketball community, including ASU players and Sun Devils head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne, shared their thoughts on what Bryant meant to the women's game.
Cronkite News starts now.
Welcome to this Thursday edition of Cronkite News. I'm Tyler Manning.
And I'm Jamie Landers. Thank you for joining us as we work remotely to bring you the latest information on the coronavirus pandemic.
There's a new group of researchers in Arizona that are working together to learn more about COVID-19. Cronkite News reporter Caroline Lynch explains.
The Translational Genomics Research Institute announced Wednesday that it's formed the Arizona COVID-19 Genomics Union. The Arizona researchers plan to sample sequences of the virus found in COVID-19 patients to better understand how the coronavirus evolves and spreads.
The number of people in the United States seeking jobless aid has hit a record high, with a startling 6.6 million people seeking unemployment benefits just last week. More than 1 in 10 workers in the United States have lost their jobs in the past 3 weeks due to the coronavirus outbreak. This is the fastest and largest loss of jobs since 1948. With businesses shutting down across the country in the last 3 weeks, a record 16.8 million Americans have filed for unemployment aid. And the impact is being felt across the world, with global unemployment estimated to rise by 25 million this year, according to the United Nations Labor Organization.
In a time of need, the Arizona Cardinals are doing their part to help the community by organizing blood drives at State Farm Stadium to assist with the critical need for blood donations due to the coronavirus. Cronkite News reporter Carly Mathias has more on the Cardinals' efforts.
The state prison in Florence will be shutting down operations and moving its inmates to other state and private prisons around Arizona.
It's to decrease the town's population and state funding. Dylan McKinn was in Florence to see what impacts the town faces with the impending closure.
Governor Doug Ducey announced at his State of the State address that he will be closing down the Florence State Prison. He claimed the closure will save taxpayers over $270 million over 3 years. But there are still questions left to be answered, including the monetary impact when the prison closes its cell doors for good.
There's another marker we're going to meet this year. We're shutting down a state prison.
Just like that, Governor Doug Ducey notified the state that he was closing a prison, a statement that not only shocked viewers, but also the people who are running the town of Florence. The state is now looking for room in other state-run and private prisons to put the displaced inmates. As for the guards that worked at Florence Prison, they will all be able to keep their jobs and transfer over to the Iman facility located down the road from Florence. In the newsroom, Dylan McKim, Cronkite News.
After the break, nuclear water woes.
We take a look inside one of Arizona's largest nuclear plants and how it's taking steps to reduce its water usage.
And the coronavirus could affect more than just your health. See how the outbreak is spreading and impacting iPhones next.
With the simple flip of a switch, many people can bring nuclear power into their homes, but it takes a lot of water to generate that power.
Cronkite News reporter Madison Staten explains why the Palo Verde nuclear plant is trying to reduce the amount of water it uses.
The nation's largest nuclear power plant sits in the middle of the desert, about an hour west of Phoenix. The Palo Verde nuclear generating station is nowhere near a large body of water, and yet it uses around 26 billion gallons of water per year. Now, the facility is trying to reduce its use of wastewater.
Water is critical for keeping the largest nuclear generating station in the country running.
Undocumented students, DACA recipients, and their allies from around the valley today joined to get their voices heard at the Arizona State Capitol. Students are advocating for in-state tuition for those known as Dreamers. They say the cost of fees can make all the difference for young people fighting to finish their education. Cronkite News reporter Alexa Fuenmayor traveled to the Capitol to learn more. Alexa?
Over 300 high school and college students met with state senators and representatives on both sides of the aisle with one mission in mind: to get in-state tuition for any Arizona high school graduate, regardless of immigration status.
It's been going on for nearly a half century. Anti-abortion groups descending on Washington every January to protest Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling that recognized a woman's right to an abortion. But this year, marchers say things are maybe looking up for their cause, as Cronkite News reporter Gabrielle Collage reports from our Washington bureau. Now we got Stephanie Bates here in studio. Stephanie, I know we had a lot of rain overnight, but what are we looking at the rest of the week?
Well, rain chances are pretty much out of the picture for us here in Phoenix, but up north in Flagstaff, you are looking at the live cam we've got going at Snow Bowl.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Coming up next on Arizona Horizon's Journalists Roundtable, fallout continues over the reaction of Phoenix police officers over a shoplifting call, and what an enthusiastic endorsement from President Trump means for Martha McSally's Senate campaign. Those stories and more next on the Journalists Roundtable. Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon's Journalists Roundtable. I'm Ted Simons. Joining us tonight, Lori Roberts of the Arizona Republic and Jim Small of the Arizona Mirror. Maricopa County Attorney Bill Montgomery was among those interviewed today for a seat on the state Supreme Court. This was a process, Lori, to fill out yet another vacancy. And yet again, County Attorney Bill Montgomery giving it a shot. Did he make the short list?
I am shocked, just shocked, I have to tell you, yes, he made the short list.
We interviewed Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Mark Kelly. He joined us in studio for a wide-ranging interview. We have some sound bites here, some excerpts from the interview I want to run and then get your guys' opinion. We started by asking him about, the party politics and partisanship and such, and he emphasized his independent streak.
We have some serious problems I don't see Washington, D.C. solving the issues that are facing this country, see, record levels of partisanship and polarization. I think Arizona needs somebody in the United States Senate who is independent, who will represent the folks here in Arizona in an independent way.
And Mark Kelly also emphasized that he's not a politician.
I look at myself as a problem solver. I had to solve difficult, complicated problems with people from other countries and other political systems, other backgrounds. And I think I can take that experience and bring a little bit different approach to Washington, D.C.
We will look at efforts to get electricity to underserved areas of the Navajo Nation. Wednesday, spending by tourists in Arizona hits a record high. Thursday, an interview with former Maricopa County Supervisor Mary Rose Wilcox. And Friday, we are back with another edition of this here Journalists Roundtable. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great weekend.